What up, chat? How we doing? Fran, what up, brother? What up, Victoria? Wandering Wealth, Casper, Bastro, Warren. Calm, how you guys doing? Let's get these charts up. What up, Ramoy? I'm doing good, brother. I honestly didn't even trade the slightest bit today. I watched charts for maybe 60 minutes and then just said, nah. Give me one sec. Yeah, I watched charts for a little bit. Other than that, I lost interest like almost immediately. Might ignore chat for a few minutes here, mainly just because I'm looking at a potential trade. I'm watching at the possibility of the YM holding this broader low on the 4-hour, getting this stronger close right in the middle of the range. If we end up breaking and holding on this 4-hour, which we have done, I mean, it opens room back up to like 50,100. I'm stalking it though. I'm watching because I'm also watching oil consolidating right below its open as well. But I might take an early step. Not even early because it's right off the area I want. But I'm giving it a second. Good, Robert. How you doing? Yeah, Victoria, I saw just the overall volatility that was in the market and I lost interest a little quick, to be honest. I'm keeping a close eye here on the YM. Because I do really like the potential of this chart if buying pressure does continue and with oil below the open. I'm going to take a little stab on it on the YM. I'm taking a stab long here at 809. So the entry I got is right at the highs. Initial stop going to be right around 60, so I'll do 50 points. But to be fully transparent, the reason I'm willing to take this is I have a lot broader of a target. We already got one strong hourly close. If this wants to get the overnight continuation that I think it can get, if we do end up seeing the break higher, I mean, I'm looking minimum there, which 4 hours is not insane. But once again, what does it open up for us? This. Why I'm right back to the highs. Because if you take a look at the different time frames, and I'll break this down really quick. This 4-hour, if as long as we hold above 645, the chart looks fine. I mean, it looks phenomenal, actually. You look at a daily chart, big daily fail to go lower at the lower end of the range. If this breaks, daily could at least go to 5,300 easily with very little hesitation. It's a trade I'm definitely willing to take a stab on and I'm willing to take an entry on. So I'm going to rock it. I am long the YM. See if we can get one of our glorious YM trades. What up, Hysteric? Joe, it's all right, brother. It happens. It happens. That a new sign, Robert? I had it on my old setup. I just hadn't hung it up yet in the new house. I didn't. I got smoked. I can see that today. I mean, there was a lot of like news scandals. There's a lot of volatility in general. I saw the volatility and just immediately know. Take note. I'm long the YM, the Dow Jones. I have a 50-point stop. The only thing that would make me a little cautious is if we got a bigger rejection and oil ripped through the open. So if we do fail, it's a shot I'm willing to take. It's not aggressive risk. So let's see it. 58. If you used even one YM, that would be $180 in risk. Which is crazy. What up, Corey? What up, Roland? Stock market, baby. How you guys doing? Scalp thank you, made my coffee money. Now I chill here and listen to beautiful. What up, AXP? One, yeah. Poison that with one mini on this trade with the YM, because 50 points is a tighter stop. Full transparency. On the YM, 50 points is tighter. That equates to like a 30-point stop on NQ. Just not the overall P&L aspect of it. That's why in the YM I like to trade like 15 micros. But the YM is a chart that I'm usually willing, depending on my stop, to take up to like 2 minis. What up, Matt? For those of you just tuning in, I did long the YM, a few points below where we are. I still think it's valid. I just like the higher time frame structure in general. It was worth a shot for the giveaway. Now, I don't know if there's one tonight. At the moment, I don't believe so. Unless Jake throws a code in like chat later. But also, we don't need giveaways on every chat. We don't. I know people love them. Hell no, I was long, no puts here. What do you mean, AXP? Are you in the Tradeify Grand Cup? Yeah, Corey, I am. Currently in the Grand Cup, the only trade I took, which this is exactly kind of where my mindset was in the beginning. I'm going to trade how I trade. If I make it, I make it. Cool. For me, though, I took the CL trade last night on the Grand Cup, plus on my fundeds, and it was up like $1,100. I'm 6,000th at $1,100 in profit. Nowhere close. I think to be in the top 1,000 right now, you would have had to have made like 6,000 today, which is nuts. Grand Cup is nuts. The key that I've noticed a lot of people are doing, a lot of people are just trading silver. Most people are just trading minis on silver and they're just ripping it. Yeah, Joe, that's what a lot of people are doing. Also, for full porting on the Grand Cup is one mini. So that's not like crazy. On silver, it is 100%. Pram, for me, it's just burritos. Told you trade silver? No, I'm still going to trade my thing. My goal at this point is just trade consistently. Let's say I make 3K this week in the Grand Cup. If I don't make it, I don't make it, is what it is. I'm content with the 3K. I'm not looking to trade it aggressively. It's probably the wrong strategy. At this point, my hope, pretty much, people just start blowing up. Keep trading silver. Eventually, you're going to get whacked one day, and I'm here for it. You get absolutely demolished on silver, and I'll be waiting to see myself move up a little bit. But no, for instance, like on the Grand Cup, I threw this trade on that account. If it rips, I'm not going to make $5,000. It's the YM. But it's just, I'm going to trade how I trade. I'm not going to force stuff on other accounts. Because at least to me, in my mindset, that has the potential to bleed into like my trading, and I don't want that. So I'm just going to do what I do. If it works, cool. If not, oh well. Yeah, Robert, I think most people are just looking at the risk to reward perspective on it. What's the fastest way to make money with one mini? Silver. All day, every day. I would either say silver or oil. Like if you traded oil today alone was in a 4-point range. So that's $4,000 range if you're able to get some trades. And yesterday's trade, by the way, that exit, phenomenal. That was the highs until the end of the day in New York. So I can't complain about that one bit. We couldn't have executed that better, except for maybe holding contracts longer, but I didn't want to. For now, though, for those of you jumping in, I am long the YM, Dow Jones. What up, Steph? Managed to hit 6,400 on MNQ PM. Damn. Dude, I saw NQ was making like 400 points. Robert, you can, but at that point, it becomes a game of like catch up. Because day one, like let's say 1,000 people do well, which they are currently. There's a lot more than that doing well. I'm now essentially 5,000 out of the top 1,000, like $5,000 out. So I would have to make that up throughout the week while also making what the others make. So I think it's going to be it's going to be a hard race to get into that top 1,000. Well, it takes more skills to trade minis or micros. Neither. It's all just psychological. A chart's a chart, brother. A chart is a chart. It's about what you're comfortable with the P&L perspective. If you can trade one micro, you can trade one mini. If you can trade 10 micros, you can trade 10 minis. It's just the P&L. If you didn't know the dollar amount in the contract, like let's say you're great at trading 10 micros with trimming. If you had no clue the dollar amount and someone else entered the trade for you and said you're in 10 contracts, didn't tell you if it was micros or minis, you'd execute fine. But the second someone says it's minis, most people would fall off a cliff with execution because they're thinking of the P&L, thinking of the dollar amount. And that's what trading is. Once you get over that, it's when it gets easy. But also that's why I don't trade overly aggressive size. I trade what I'm comfortable with and I rock with it. Doesn't it worry you that oil isn't dying? I'm watching it, Gael. I'm watching it. What up, Aussie? What up, Armani? How you doing? I'm keeping an eye on oil. The two main watches for me this session was potential oil longs or potential YM longs. And I think the YM chart looks better on a broader perspective off today's price action, especially with this 4 hour, if it wants to continue. If we do push back below, let's say the open, yeah, I would assume not even the open, even just back below like what, 85? Yeah, 49, 780s. This 4 hour can get weaker. I'm playing a slightly stronger hourly close and just seeing if we can get that broader continuation. We're in a wide 4 hour consolidation. I think if it's basically like if this does break, if the buyers do get that continuation, it should easily go back up to here. But we need to get past 845s. If not, if we end up rejecting across the board on the indices, and then we see oil pushing back lower or pushing back higher, then we know, all right, this might not work. Like I said, risk on this is low. 50 points, Abraham, for now. So I have it right at 759s. And it's very low risk. I got you, Pram. There will be days where I might reply to like DM slower because there's days I get shitload and I just go, you know what? I'll do this later. I was grabbing those FFFs. Armani, I don't blame you, brother. I don't blame you. I did mention it to Jake, so if you're getting them, you better get them quick. You better get them quick. I'm not going to mention what it is because if it was an accident, I don't want to be promoting that and just looking bad. Day one of Jake being an affiliate. So tonight's goals night. Look at the 4 hour. Yeah. Yep, Victoria. Obviously, you know that. Oh, wait, that's not wrong chart. I got to go here for gold. I mean, tonight is gold's night. It could be. If gold holds this, I mean, we've been watching this 540s for forever, for a while. If it holds, beautiful. Could easily rip back higher. I can tell you, though, if tonight is gold's night, and we see gold break up to here, the number one thing we're going to see on that Grand Cup is people ripping this chart. If silver rips with gold, silver goes up $4, people are going to have $50,000 in profit. What do you mean what's going on with silver? More money? Yeah, gold does look good. I would just love oil to stay away from the open. If it gets a little weaker, gets that breakdown, maybe like a little 15-minute trigger, I'd be happy with it. Because then we should get some conviction higher on the indices. There's a chance we range out for a little bit on this session, which if it happens, it happens. Now, see cricket, I caught oil last night. I didn't take a single trade today. It was like 82 degrees outside for the first time this year. So I immediately at like 10:30, 11ish went outside and I spent 5 hours outside. I would rather sit in the sun than trade today. After being up last night, rather not sit inside in front of a computer when we have that kind of weather. Especially when you're already green on the day. It's not like I'm break even trying to see if I can make a profit or not. We were already up. I'm going to ride with it. That's just my mindset. I'm perfectly fine with taking one trade. Yeah, gold is getting a little love. Main thing with YM is I want to see this broader pivot hold, which is just a decent support here. That's why my stop's below it. Because if we do break this, we're getting back into this kind of consolidation towards the end of the day. And that's when I would anticipate us to go retest the open, which is why my stop's here versus like down at the open. What up, Lamelli? What'd you do for 5 hours? Well, number one thing I did is I took our workout stuff outside and worked out the entire time. I laid out for a little bit and then I did a little bit of yard work. But mainly just whatever I could to be in the sun versus being inside. More money is talking about silver. Are you asking if silver's going up or back down? Is that the question? Well, currently it's going up. You got a home gym? No, we're working on it, Lamelli. We have a barbell, 45s, 35s, 25s, and then dumbbells. And that's it. Because my mom had a bunch of stuff from when I was there. No, it wasn't 5 hour workout, but my mom had a bunch of stuff at her house, and we just took all the weights that she couldn't use. I mean, if silver holds yesterday's highs, it can go up. This isn't a chart where I'm like dying to break it down and be like, yeah, this looks insanely bullish or insanely bearish. We're in a wild range from the past days, weeks. We can easily go back up towards 80.3s if it wants to get buying pressure, but this isn't a chart that I actively trade a lot. We have oil pulling back a little bit. The NSE is pulling a little bit as well. We'll see how we react here in a little bit. Where are you located, Hugo? I'm in Ohio. CJ, what do you mean the return with the velocity plant is insane? Is that FFF? I've never looked at that prop firm, so I don't know if that's one of their accounts. OHIO. No, you can't beat 80s because 80s to 90s is like the hottest it gets here. There'll occasionally be like a couple days where it gets over 100, but for a majority of it, if you're hitting 80s, you need to be outside. It'll get, Lamelli, later on, like right now, it won't get into the 90s. When we get towards September and like August, it'll get up towards 70% humidity, 95 degrees, and it sucks. It is brutal. Hell yeah, hysteric. That's what I love. What up, Hitch? Chase, that's exactly why. We have the exact same weather, except you're slightly colder, most likely. Interesting, CJ. Very lamelly. Very. Especially because I live near the lake, kind of. But no, it is extremely humid here. If it's warm for like a few weeks and sunny, it'll chill out. But we normally get rain, and then you're talking 70% plus humidity. It's looking like we may get a little bit more of a pullback. We're still within the prior 15-minute candle, which is fine. So we have an hourly inside bar here, which I'm cool with. NQ did spike higher off this low from Friday. We might, I mean, if we see any selling continue, we might break this support. If we break this support, we'll get stopped. And if that happens, if the indices start going back lower, I'm going to be looking towards oil. Yeah. Yeah, Lamelli, we have Lake Erie. It's one of like the biggest freshwater lakes out there. It's not the greatest lake, but it's huge. I grew up out there, so I love being on the water. Yeah, Prem, you can. I don't drink a lot, but when we do meetups, I'm always open to drinking. I drink for like special occasions. That's about it. Like I haven't drank since the New York meetup, which is kind of crazy. You ever been to the Great Lakes? I mean, it's gonna be better than Superior. At least we have like flat water and not crazy currents. I'm drinking right now. Hell yeah. Now, if I drank a lot, I'd probably just do it on the night session. Good thing I don't. I'm watching oil here because oil's trying to hold. Just off yesterday alone, we should know if oil holds, we'll likely see more of a pullback from the indices. And I'm willing to run an even tighter stop if needed. But for now, I am leaving it. I think we're just ranging at the moment, which I'm cool with. Biggest thing I'm paying attention to is just this 4 hour. Because this hourly can pull back, sit in the range, and then it's just kind of a whole lot of nothing, which might be what today ends up being. We'll see though. What up, Yaita? Superior is the GOAT? No. No. Not even a little bit. Elder, is that the festival down by Columbus? It's like southeast of Columbus, Electric Forest. Because I know there's one down, or no, that might be Lost Lands. I don't know. There's one down there. You didn't trade? Yeah, I took YM when we were sitting up here, and I just threw a 50-point stop on it for now. Main reason for those of you just getting in is the higher time frames. 4 hour did trigger. I'm cool with it. If we end up breaking back below, my stop's not too far below that, which means we would fail, potentially go back lower, so I'd be out. Hourly as well, did get the start of an hourly 3-bar play. We're still in a consolidation, so I don't consider this a trend at all. Even a little bit, no. So I could see us consolidating more if we want to, but then the daily has a big failure to go lower as well. The big aspect that I'd be looking for is a break over 845s. We get over 845s, I think this thing can scream. I think it can absolutely face rip, but it's a big if we get over that. If we break 845s, my goal is throw a stop on the chart and see what it looks like in the morning. You're into this Mexican food. Usually steak. It's in, oh, Michigan. Okay, bet. I haven't been up to Michigan in a while. I gotta go back up there at some point. Because I got a lot of family up there. But no, how'd you guys trade today? Also, who here is in the Tradeify Cup? Because I'm sure a lot of you guys are. Let's pull that up. That is absolutely insane. Like for the Tradeify Grand Cup, the top people 26, 24, 21, 20. Like that is fucking nutty. This person just jumped up 280 points or 280 spots. But I think the top thousands, like at least when I looked, it was $6,000 to make it. Nice, Ty. So Ty, you have what? Probably like 2,000 in profit, maybe 3 if you're in the 4,000s. Yep. But I was gonna say because I have, like I said, I have 1,100 and I'm like 6,000. I'm not even close. Yeah, I'm 6,600. I'm in the XP Cup, 600 or nothing. OD, you're ranked 100 right now. Hold up. I'm not gonna blast your name. Oh, 1,000th. Okay. I was gonna say you're already up 11 bands, dude. God damn. I lost a lot on that huge 1 minute candle. I'm sure a lot of people did. The candle he's talking about is this, which doesn't look. This is also a good reason I didn't want to. Like, I was cool with not trading today. You look at this chart and you're like, all right, it looks range bound. These aren't small pivots. On ES right there, it's 40 points, which 40 points is nice. It's not insane. This 1 minute candle is 45 points. You're like, all right. But then you go to NQ. That 1 minute candle, whatever it was 230 points. If you somehow didn't have a stop, your account's gone. Disappeared. Straight to the gulag. What was that, by the way? No clue. I wasn't even looking at the chart. I opened charts at like 310-ish, I think. And I thought market was closed. Yeah, Bellatrix, it right now, yes, that's the limit. We're gonna have to pay attention to see what it's at the end of the week, because there are going to be people that blow up. There are gonna be people that do well. There's gonna be people that blow up. There's gonna be a lot of changing throughout the next 4 days. The problem is gonna be though is if we just see oil or not oil, if we see the metals rip like they kind of are now, we're gonna see those top 300 people. There's gonna be a huge gap in there. Because the people that I know that are doing well in it, all they're doing is trading silver. How are people doing that with 1 minute? Belgians, that's exactly how. They're ripping silver. Most people I know that are doing well are just ripping silver. Mute. No, I'm not muted, brother. You're muted. Oil still sitting below the open. I want to see this breakdown sooner than later. This is likely going to be one of my longer trades where you're just holding. Yeah, if your goal is to do very well in the cup, you either need to snipe NQ or you need to be trading metals. That is probably one of the only ways you have a chance of winning is trading metals, primarily silver. I was long right before that candle. AXP, I think you are an insider. That shit's way too volatile and I trade NQ. I don't know if you were on yesterday and I was talking about it. I don't like trading metals. They're insanely volatile compared to what I like. But even though I like volatility on a broader perspective. I like volatility on something like oil. Oil is usually not overly volatile on the lower time frames. It's volatile on the higher time frames or like the mid time frames. That's what I want to trade. I don't like trading gold mainly just because it's overly volatile on like the 2 minute, at least when I trade. And I just haven't found a good rhythm with it. Try and range trade. I mean, I've range traded before. I'm not range trading this price action, if that's what you're talking about. Not a shot in hell. With this session, I'm either trading something like yesterday where I'm looking for that quicker move and then we just get out within like 30 minutes, or I'm looking for something that I can hold overnight. With this YM, a big if for now. If we do break, I think the upside potential is absurd. I mean, I'd be looking for last week's highs, which is going to be a crazy target, yes. But that's why I'm not overly fixated on that. I'm not sizing aggressive at all. Giving myself potential, like if this stops, I'm perfectly comfortable and I can easily go find another trade, especially with oil being slightly stronger here. I really want to see that break the structure's lows. No, Pram, I don't. If you want those in the Discord, I don't know if he's in here, but Mitch, our 12:30 host, 12:30 EST, go to his channel. It's up in the rake trade section. His name's just Mitch. So just go there, and then he usually trades a lot of that when he likes the opportunity of it. Kakarov. I mean, that's a question. That's just like an inside question where you have to sit there, really think about what you want to do. If you're trading TPTs, do you really want to eat and get past that, or do you want to like slowly trade past it? I know how I do it. Mine's the like unfavorable way for accounts like that. I usually just trade it slower. Yeah, Pram, what I would do is if you're interested in it, you can ask him during his sessions, and he loves talking about that stuff. I'm not, I know a little bit about it, but not a lot. Still a little skeptical while oil sits up here. I mean, we are holding like 101.5 on the charts, but it's not overly strong. What's crazy is we're at the exact same spot we entered yesterday. I just noticed that. Eat one, slow row the other. Honestly, that could be the move. And then while you do that, buy another eval, slowly work your way up with it. That's one thing I love doing is once I start trading fundeds and I start doing like, and I built somewhat of a buffer on them, I'll start buying evals. Like I have 2 more Tradeify evals. I haven't traded them this week yet that I'm working on growing towards fundeds while I kind of slow roll my actual fundeds to work on that consistency that I absolutely dicked myself with. Pram, are you talking about how you full port 2 of them one direction and full port 2 of them the other direction? I'm very skeptical with oil. Yeah, Pram, that was a really good strategy about a year ago. Most prop firms notice that especially like Apex, because people would buy 20 accounts, full port, all of them in two different directions, past 10, full port those again, have 5 up towards funded, and that's how, or up towards payout, and that's how they would go. Uh, Hedge funds call that, or prop firms call that hedging. You get busted hedging, they're either going to just fulfill the account or ban you from that prop firm. So I wouldn't do that. If you see any guaranteed passing strategies on social media, run. The current strategy everybody tries to do is CPI, where they just full port CPI both directions and hope for the best. Slow to stroke, if you do it, you'd actually have to do it with 4 different prop firms to make it work. I'm not going to go into further detail on that because that would look bad on my end if I give you guys the exact strategy of how you could get around that loophole. Not doing it. We work with the prop firms. I'm not getting in trouble. If you think real hard, you can figure it out. Marvel, what are you talking about? You get out the YM in time. We're fucking 40 points away from my stop. Google it. Aussie, I don't know if Google's going to give you that one, though. Yeah, you could do it on different prop firms. There was a point in time, though, when the hedging started, prop firms shared account data with each other. Certain prop firms, not all. So if you were hedging across prop firms, they would both just fail you. So if they still do that, good luck. Trust me, there's a way to game the system, but if you try to game it too hard, they find out. Well, you got to remember, Pram, because they run the industry together, they work together. If people are doing loopholes like that, they're going to find ways to be like, all right, yeah, no, that's kind of going to stop. Because all it does is just hit them for larger payouts. Because people would, if a large group of people figure that out, it's a lot of money. What up, right guy? How you doing? Right, I got an entry so far. It for me, it's just which one's gonna hold or which one's gonna break between oil and the indices. I liked my entry. I don't like that we're pulling back. We're currently fighting right now. If we're sitting at 82, we're gonna be right at the prior 4-hour high. So I need to hold that. Why? Because if we do fail below this, get the 4-hour push below this and close lower, we're failing that overall break, which means buyers aren't strong enough to keep us above that, which means sellers could easily take over. So if we can hold 81, I like it. And we'll continue to be in it. If not, we might hit 59, hit the stop, and then I'll look to see what else we can find. There's a chance we do spend a little bit of ranging, though. Today was a volatile day. A lot of people are probably chilling. Bram, I don't really eat ice cream. It's just not something that, like, I used to love ice cream a lot, but for me, it was just simple, like cookie dough, cookies and cream, either or. If I make a dessert like that, I just use yogurt. Marvel. Shut up. Just you should know though, because you've been on other streams, so you know I'm not rake. First off, but I ain't worried about this. If this hits here, I'm currently in 15 MYM. If we hit down here, I lose like 260. I'm cool with that. We're right at the big support that I want us to hold. It's going to be this prior highs from the end of day, early day. If we end up holding this, we can easily set that higher low, look for that move higher. At the moment, we're just consolidating here above this. So as long as we can hold it, we ride. If we push lower, stop will be hit. We'll look for something else after. Appreciate you, Dev. See you later, brother. Too many demands on trading. One blown account while 2 eval accounts up over 50% passed. Right. Isn't that unfortunate how that happens? Like if you have a bad day trading and you get into like, if I hate it. If I have like a really bad day on fundeds, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm going to buy an eval and see how I can do on that, pass the eval or get the 50% consistency first trade. Like if I just traded the funded instead of that, I'd be green. Nope. Now I'm deep red because I didn't. Yeah, Joe, we'll see. Marvel, I need you to quit yelling. See you typing in all caps. You got to quit yelling. Bro, you're one of the chillest traders. That's how I need to be when I'm trading. I overthink it a lot. Taylor, and this is the easiest way to go. And here's exactly, this is a good example of why I'm the way I am on this trade. So my stop is 760. If I go to the YM, and I'm going to this chart because this is where my overall grids are. This is what I'm looking for. We have the prior 4-hour high here. As long as we hold this, the upside potential is insane. And this is one of those trades, like I said, I will be looking to hold overnight if we do hold. We look at this as long as we hold 80s. First target for me, in all reality, I like 50,150, the prior 4-hour highs. We're likely going to see some resistance at 850s. We're likely going to see a little bit between like 880s, which is this little consolidation high. So between 850, 880, I would expect some resistance. We get over that up here. Now, the bigger picture as well, if we look at the YM, the weekly, every single week so far has been failure to go higher, failure to go higher, failure to go higher, failure to go higher. We talked about this yesterday. If we get back over last week's lows, what are we starting to do? We're failing this overall sell within the YM. Believe it or not, this on the YM, when we triggered here, is a lower high. And that is kind of crazy to look at. You look at this chart, we went all the way down, all the way back up. This high is below that high. Technically trying to set a downtrend. If we fail that when what should happen doesn't, expect the opposite. Spike below last week's lows, got bought back up. If we get this break, if this is a 5-minute chart, where would you kind of want to see this candle close? Up here. If we get up there, we're looking at 50,300. That would be a 500-point move, which isn't nuts on the YM. The fun part is, though, if that momentum does go, if we break that, prior all-time highs is like 50,900. And you bet your ass, if somehow, some way we get there, I'm going to try to hold it on the Grand Cup. Because I also looked at the potential profits on the Grand Cup, and it's going to be unfortunate if we hit like 50,300. I think I make like $2,300. If I catch over a 1% move on the YM, it's like $2,300 on that account. It's going to be nothing for the competition. Gugamon, I would, so chat, if you can help him, help him. I know you guys are up good for it. He says, how do you set a stop loss after the contract is already bought on TradingView? Because this is different than Top Step. I don't trade on TradingView. I draw this on here so you guys can see it. I trade on Tradeify on my other monitor. This is just to show the trade that I'm currently in. Right, guy. I could see gold going. If you just look at the daily structure here, look at gold. We're holding this daily pivot. And this daily pivot is absurd. We even retested the all-time highs from back in October of last year on that wick lower. We hold this, we start pushing higher. We get back above. Actually, we're already above. We're already above last week's highs or last week's lows. So we're starting that weekly fail to go lower. Gold can go up to 4750s. And I'd be like, all right, that makes sense. Gold can go up to 4,900 this week. And I'd be like, okay, that checks out. If this was a 5-minute chart and we saw this rejection, especially in today's market, it wouldn't be crazy if we saw this candle close up here, would it? I don't think so personally. And I'm saying if that does happen, there's a lot of potential upwards, but I'm still not trading gold. I'm not doing it. Don't feel like it. I like oil being a little bit weaker here, still sitting near the open. But if we end up getting some buying pressure, we could see this push higher, which would be nice. Are you trading fundeds or live? Pram, right now I'm on fundeds. I'm in on my funded, one of them, one of my two, and then I'm in on the Grand Cup. Yeah, Taylor. That's where I started trading back in the original Discord in Simba Stocks with Rake. Yep. I got in there in 2021, January, end of January. So like end of January, early February. Marvel, you asking who runs like the mainstream? Because I'll give you one hint. There's one person's name on the YouTube account, and it ain't mine. Now everything's self-funded by Jake. This entire project, everything is self-funded by Jake. So if you do want to support us, help us keep doing this. One, show some love, like the stream. Second, if you're using any prop firms, now including FFF, you can use code RAKE at checkout, and it gets you the biggest discount available. Still stuck in his overall range. I don't like the potential 5-minute lower high. 15 still holding the structure that I'm cool with. There's a chance though, if it does push a little bit lower in the next 15, if we get this inside bar, we can see a spike of the lows on the next one. At that point, it's just how low does it spike if it's going to hold. But I do have stops in place. I'm going to take a stop if Asia does push us lower in the next 15 minutes. My rank on Tradeify Grand Cup is like 6,600. It's what I made off the oil trade last night. If this trade loses, I'll be lower. We'll see though. Any giveaways? Angle? I don't believe so. Not today. At least that I'm aware of. And if I'm not aware of them, it means they're probably not doing one. I think Jake's also working on getting the FFF accounts that he talked about from today to do giveaways. Defi. That's one of the best things to understand, though, is what you just said. You're having a hard time telling if NQ is bullish or bearish, seems choppy. Well, if you don't really know what direction it's going to go, what does that kind of tell you? For me, if we get that, if I look at a chart and I'm like, I don't really know what I want this to do, it tells you right there. Don't do anything. There's no reason to trade until you look at something and say, yes, this makes sense. This should do this based off of the price action we got. And if it doesn't make sense, don't touch it. That will save you more in trading than you could ever guess. Marvel, I love you, brother. But you saying, see, I warned you about the YM. When the YM pulls back 13 points means absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. That is what? $50 in a stop loss? Or $50 total? It's not crazy. YM could rip all the way down to the open, and I'd be like, all right, it's a part of the trade. Gail, how did you lose your funded already in this? What chart did you trade that you lost the funded? What were you in? Right. It doesn't matter to me. If people want to stay for a giveaway, it's just, oh well. But there isn't one tonight. What I would rather have is people be on stream that are going to be supportive overall and rock with it. You know, the ones who like, if there's a giveaway, sick. But if there's not, hell yeah, I still want to be there. That's kind of following we want. Well, at least I want. Also, haters, if there are haters, I don't think I have any, but they're the most loyal supporters out there. Stick around without the giveaway. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, Taylor, I didn't get to study much from Wolf because I immediately found Jake once I did the lessons with him, and I followed him all the way till here. Yeah, the oil long yesterday was nice. It was. Let me make sure I have a stop on my Grand Cup account because I don't remember putting it. I didn't. Good thing I remembered. I'm your biggest hater. Appreciate you, CJ. Exactly, I'm a hater, but I'm a supporter as well. Appreciate you too, Marvel. Oh, you're like $100 a drawdown, dude. What was it? Like a month? No, maybe a month ago. I had an account that we did DGen hours with. I think it was like the last DGen hours I did. And I one account, the slippage was so bad because I think I full ported NQ on it, and I had $300 in drawdown left. I grew it to 900. Took a trade in New York session. Didn't realize how volatile NQ was being. It wicked like 80 points in 30 seconds and it just blew it. I was like, damn. But it was a eval, so it didn't matter. No, I was not in Stock Market Wolf's group. I wasn't. What up, Steve? Yeah, Steve. I'm definitely willing to take it. If the YM fails, it fails. My main thought process going in today was either oil or the YM is going to make the move. Because they're both, I mean, oil's not that strong, but it is sitting around the open, which is like the cautious part there. If it doesn't break down at all, I think oil has a chance to go higher. I just don't love the chart. Like if the YM doesn't break, there's not a chart that I'm desperately in love with. Zhang was in Wolf's group. I didn't know that. More money. I appreciate you being here, but please stop asking about silver. I I don't chart silver much. I don't love the chart either direction. I think silver's volatile as hell. Me looking at this and you look at this chart, it has room drastically higher. It can go up to 86 and set a lower high in general. It can also break back lower below yesterday's lows and fail and then see it move lower. I don't like that chart at all. So I'm not really going to be overly interested in it. That's tracks NYC about silver. He'll just say bye. NASDAQ gap fill back to, it could easily. If we fail here, yeah, easily could. Especially as we're coming into the Asia Open, we're 11 points away from stop. That stop is very likely going to be hit. Main reason, looking at the hourly chart, we're still an inside bar, but we're closing towards the lower end of the hourly candle. What does that mean? Once we open, we're likely going to spike lower if we don't hit the stop first. So I'd anticipate that spike lower, which tells me that stop will likely be hit. At that point, though, I would start rolling more attention towards oil. If oil wants to get aggressive, I'm willing to trade it, but I'm not overly eager to trade anything if I take a stop. I'll definitely be looking. If we close back under, you're looking at 70 around here. All right, let's look at NQ. I mean, NQ is definitely weaker. The hourly tested higher, failed. If that 4 hour does get lower, it gets ugly, especially when you're looking at just the overall time frame. Daily chart's drastically weaker than YM as well. To me, YM just had the slightly stronger close out of the indices on the daily chart, which is why I was willing to take a stab. But if we do break back lower, I think the market can easily push down. Pretty easily. Robert, I am. It's not somewhere I'd want to get in. At this point, the trade thesis is wrong and invalidated, so I'm just letting it go. Took the stop there on the YM. Little loss. My Grand Cup rank's probably going to drop 900. Pram, I mean, it's a good question. And it's how do you stay level headed with a losing trade? You anticipate it to lose. You have to accept the loss no matter what. Any trade I get in, I'm not anticipating the stop to hit, but I'm sized and priced for that stop to hit. Like yesterday, for perspective, yesterday's oil trade was, I think, $1,100 in profit for me. I just risked 270 on that one with 15 micros. So it's all about sizing. But it's all about accepting the loss, just knowing if it hits, it is what it is. You'll win later on. And having the overall confidence within your strategy. Let me make sure nothing is left open on these. No, we're good. What up, Carson? I'm just going to do this real quick. One thing I will say is don't go on YouTube asking people for money, whether that was a bot or a real person. Don't do it. Don't go on people's YouTube channels and say, hey, can I have a shitload of money? Because they're not going to do it. It makes no sense. None at all. Short now, entry was 157. What are you in on? Oh, NQ, bet. Nice entry. You got in on this trigger right here on the 5, Taylor? If CL gets over the OP, would you consider longs? Yes, I would. Nice entry. I would consider it. I mean, I don't know. I'd consider it, yeah. Because the way looking at the multi-time frame analysis, it can make sense if we get over the open for the 15 to push above this hourly high. And at that point, you're looking back towards like 104.6. I can tell you one thing I'm not overly interested in doing is longing the indices. I need at least a big spike lower on the Asia session that gets quickly bought back up to even have any interest. Because we have the NQ with a big failure to go higher. Not ideal. Closing back in. Best case scenario, this ranges. Worst case scenario, well, not worst case, but just bearish case scenario, it breaks under the open and you see more of a broader pullback. Sure, send me $20. I'll send you 20 pesos. Robert, that is a hell of a deal, my guy. That is a hell of a deal. Did you ever have an issue holding a trade to TP after taking a loser? Yeah. And Pram, the biggest thing with that, if you have a problem with the loss of a trade, it's likely you're sizing. And I'm not saying you in general, I'm talking about as a whole. And it's something I used to struggle with because I used to do it. When I first started trading prop firms, I was trading minis out the ass. I was trading minimum 2 minis on ES every trade. Every trade was the exact same size. Now, did I love the profits? Yes, did. But I didn't love the losses because I would lose $500 to $700 back then. I wasn't okay with that. And what would I do? Either revenge trade or just ignore my stop and lose the account. But no, most people, when they have a problem with the loss, one, they're either not confident in their strategy in the slightest, and you're never going to be comfortable with a loss if you're not confident in the strategy. Why? Because you have zero confidence you're going to make it back. That's also why people get FOMO at times. And obviously, there's different cases for FOMO. And y'all know I don't love the word. But the thing with FOMO with that aspect, people will have a fear of missing out on a move because they don't have the confidence that they will be able to catch that move again. You won't have the confidence you'll be able to see that exact type of trade or entry tomorrow and be able to catch it, or the next day and be able to catch it. And all it does is you just need time and confidence within your strategy overall. But a lot of that and just not being okay with losses is just lack of confidence in your strategy, which takes time to build, or you're using too much size to the point where you're comfortable with the profits on your position, but not comfortable with the overall losses. I'm paying for 28K on the NQ. Are you in a trade looking for 28K on the NQ? Because if so, holy shit. Yeah, Joe, I'll expect it via carrier pigeon, brother. Let me know when it gets here. Your situation sounds like the latter. We're using too much size. That's where a lot of people's situation is. Yep, we're at the Tokyo Open. Let's see what happens. If we reject on oil and we push back higher and we got stopped by 9 ticks, that'll suck. We'll see though. Give it time. I'm not rushing any entries here. Oh, the other one? Yeah, that just comes with time. Confidence in the strategy and your execution just comes with time and a lot of work behind it. I used to struggle drastically with it, and that's because I wasn't confident because I was a little degenerate. So you guys want NQ 28,545. I mean, I would expect 780s first. And if that breaks, yeah, you have a lot of downside. You do. So something that gets more interesting here with oil is the failure to go lower. Because if the hourly does fail to go lower and hold, that's when you can look for that push back up towards the open and look for that break and continuation. I don't love the hourly chart, which sucks. I don't. I do not like it at all, which makes me not really want to trade this chart primarily because when you look at this, 4 hour is sitting in a 4-point range. That is absurd. But I'm going to be a little patient here, see what the indices want to do with the Asia Open. Give it probably 10, 15 minutes, then reassess the charts. What up, Zay? Zay, so far I got spiked at the lows by YM on a long, but we'll see. What up, Jav? How you doing? Trade about 5 to 10 cons of QQQ options. Nice. Yeah, I love trading options when the opportunity arises. I mainly just trade options when I think there's a potential of a larger move, mainly on the indices. But for most part, I stick towards futures. At least, obviously, during this session, there's no options. But during New York as well. Gold, nice little recovery there. Gold's strong. It's really strong right now. See how this 5-minute closes in 2 minutes? If we do close this 15 weaker toward with the consolidation of the lows, we could look for ES and NQ to spike the open, see how we react to that. At that point, though, RTY and YM would likely be below their opens. Could get a little interesting. Gold took a blue chew. It did. Prem, that's why a lot of people like it. And what I say about futures and options together, I think they both have good, like there's a good opportunity for both, and there's each has their own time. There's going to be times where you look more so, all right, options, you can hold it for a few days, at least for me. Futures, I have no problem holding for the larger moves, but I'm looking a lot more towards a lower time frame for that like sniper entry. And what I found with trading futures is it actually fine-tuned my entries on options drastically for the most part. There are some degenerate trades that I take on options, but I keep most of my degeneracy towards the option contracts. Gandhi, I might be below you now after that loss. Yep, I just dropped below 7. Son of a bitch. Indices pushing lower here. Well, oil made the move. Well, at least the start of it. I'll keep an eye on it, see how this reacts. Probably gonna wait for the lower time frame volatility to chill out a little bit before I do anything. Which I'm okay with. Taylor, I don't have much at all. At all. Mainly just because I'm working on, I paid off a bunch of debt that I still have a little bit left that I'm paying on. So I haven't invested a lot of long term. I'm still working on building up that account. I also suck at trading long term because I start to look at it more towards a swing position. So I am slowly funding a long term account, waiting for an opportunity to buy stuff that I want to buy. Because most of the stuff I buy, I'll buy and then sell a couple months later, if that, when it makes like a 30% move. But I'm funding an account right now that I can buy stuff and just not log into at all, ever. Might try long ES instead of NQ. See what you're watching off the open. Because we can still set the hourly high or low. I could have just been an hour early, which is part of the gig, I guess. So I'm watching. I'm really not overly interested in longing here. My problem now is I would want to see a stronger hourly close, which would mean us getting back above the prior hourly low, getting a strong, like getting a close up near that little resistance area we looked at earlier to even be interested in a long. I just think for a long, I want more time for the chart to do something. Yeah, digital. I need to. I had a Roth at one point, but my first year of trading, I went full DJ and enabled options. I still have a Roth, but it's a lot lower than it was. Because I was like, oh, it's free money. I had no clue what I was doing. Dumb as fuck. But no, I disabled options on that, and I've been putting money into that as well. Yeah, Prem, you're just playing the Greeks at that point. You're playing the overall compounding return off options, which is going to be drastically better than it's going to be on futures. It's interesting that we're seeing a little bit of buying pressure while oil is still sitting above the open. Gold looks strong, but this thing's volatile. I mean, you're in a 13-point little range. AK, probably not, to be honest. To be fully honest, probably not. Because there's going to, if one has like earnings or something, you could look to trade it, but I don't even think that's a good idea. It's just going to be, with the session I'm in with Asia session, I don't know if they're going to move as fluidly as they're likely going to move during New York. I mean, if you look at something like RTY and YM, those already don't move overly fluid on the lower time frames. So just try to think of the overall volume that's going to be on those individual stocks. I think for the most part, I'm going to focus on the main six that I watch and just rock with those when that comes out. Appreciate you, SO. Gold 5-minute Asia open candle is very ugly. It is, but then it just recovered it. So it really means nothing at this point. The initial candle isn't always like the end all be all on any opening print. It's how we react off of that candle. If we broke this low and push back lower, or if we break the low in the next, let's say, 15 minutes and push back lower, yes, that's very ugly. But for now, if we keep it like this, now this is more bullish than bearish. So it kind of flips the entire perspective there. Oil's rejecting the open. We have that. The indices are holding the open so far. What up, Max? Yeah, Pram, but also you have to remember the reason for options is so you can buy those contracts. So the data makes perfect sense, but I get what you mean. There would also be very little value in the contracts because there would be next to no extrinsic value. Can't wait till we trade individual futures. I don't think I'm going to. I really don't. I mean, I say that now, but I guarantee you, if I see a chart that's like A++, I will. I'm just more so interested in seeing how they trade. I think in the beginning, it's going to be hectic as all hell. Everyone's going to want to trade them, and we'll see. What would that be? I'm watching to see how we react here across the indices. What I would kind of want to see at this point, if I'm looking along the YM, would be a break above this little resistance that I marked out, maybe a retest right here, and then look to potentially long. I'm open to taking one entry below it because the risk is just so little. But I'm not open to it when we have oil looking like it wants back over the open. So I'm kind of just being patient. Making sure I don't do something dumb. But I'm definitely interested. If I do, though, it'd probably be the same size. So like 260 risk, whatever it was. Have you heard of perpetual futures like crypto? That's what I traded perpetual futures on. Yeah, guy, like imagine futures on Tesla 30 minutes after earnings during their earnings calls. That is going to be astronomically volatile. I can tell you the number one time I will not trade individual futures is going to be during earnings. I will have zero interest. So oil's trying to hold. We're at the same situation yesterday where one's going to break and one's going to go. And I like the 15 minutes. I like the hourlies a lot more. Problem is the hourly still has 47 minutes. I'm not going to buy it as we get into this resistance, but if we do see some consolidation here, I'm interested. Unfortunate that we did get technically wicked out. We only went 20 points below, which is not much at all in the YM. Yeah, Gael, like, unless unless it happens every time, like consistently, then I won't be like that for the most part. I don't love, I mean, the big hit trades are awesome. When you make a trade like that, at least for me, I have to go on reserve mode for a while. Like, yes, they're phenomenal to hit. But the last thing I'm going to do if I get that is just stab back in. 'Cause that's what I did the last time I made that much. And I had my biggest loss in history. So I'm just very cautious when it comes to that now. Interesting, Pram. Yeah, I don't expect the spreads to be good on individual stocks because the futures market's going to get so much more into it that we can trade that we're just going to be spreading the overall volume throughout a lot. Now, yes, we'll probably be getting a lot more futures traders in general, like people trading the futures market just because the individual stock potential. YM rejection, if it does reject off this, is interesting. If it rejects off that, breaks below the open, this chart's going to be weaker. I don't think this is anything where I'm like, oh my God, this is like I need to be in right this second. But I'm keeping an eye on the YM for the 15-minute close. And I'm just stalking it because the opportunity on the higher time frames, which has already failed once. That's why I'm more hesitant than not. Well, it depends how I lose it. If I just have a streak where I take like not even 8 losing trade, like let's say I have one bad trade where I lose like $1,000 or something, where it's more than I should. And then I take maybe 2 or like probably 3 losses in a row on that account again. And it's not a tilt, then I'll keep trading. If I full tilt below a funded account, then yeah, I don't take a break. I just go to evals, but I won't trade a funded because that's how you lose every single fund is when you tilt unfunded, revenge trade your other fundeds, start copy trading and lose them all. I've done it. It ain't fun. Oil looks a lot more interesting now. Over the open. In theory, stop could be here for 40 ticks. Problem is, I just don't love the prior 4-hour candle. I don't. I really don't. I hate trading into massive candles like that. I just don't like doing it. I'd rather be patient and wait. I would rather be patient and wait than trade back into a 4% 4-hour candle. Trying that, see how long. I I see it. Obviously, I was watching it. I don't like the failure now. Back below the open, no. Especially with the hourly now back below the prior hourly high. Don't love it. Are you only interested in longs? Not really, Cole. But I also love trading oil. So if oil looks better, and right now, if I want a long, what I can do is either find an index that looks long or look for oil, see how that looks as well. I'm open to shorting, but for me, I mean, I just think to the downside, we're probably going to range a little bit more. I mean, NQ can definitely go. My problem is I'm mainly focused on like the YM and oil. Which right now, though, we are rejecting off the resistance. I'm just not overly interested in the broader short right now. I think it's mainly because of how the daily chart's closed. But my main thesis is I'm either going to, if I'm looking to short, I'm either looking to short the indices or I'm looking to long oil. And the way I trade is I'm normally trading ES. Which one has bigger potential return, ES or oil? If oil provides a tight stop in general, especially compared to ES, I'm going to take that because the risk to reward is exponentially better. Cole, we ripped the trade yesterday. And yeah, a lot of the overnight is range. It is. But there's those days where you get those really nice moves, and that's what I look for. That's why in the YM, I said I anticipated more of a broader range, but I was looking for that potential move that I could hold for 12 to 16 hours if needed. I bet. I still have the trade. We caught this on oil yesterday. That where the stop is, stop didn't hit. I moved it there. After we came down, we got over here. I moved the stop up to that wick. Yeah, it was gorgeous. I mean, we had New York to be very volatile, and this is like a broader consolidative aspect. Yes, it is slowed down, but the consolidation in between it, as we're doing that, we're likely going to continue to range here. I still think the YM has potential on the higher time frames. I just don't like that correlation now between oil and the indices. I think one's going to break. It's just which one. What up, Jav? See you later, Pram. Have a good one, brother. You had a nice short this morning on ES, like 4 points. If so, beautiful. Insanely beautiful. Yeah, so far, dude, it's just chop. I'm just waiting. I still really like the potential of the YM. I do. I think it'll be something I'm watching no matter what throughout the night. If it sets up and gives an entry, I'm willing to take it. If not, we'll see. Probably just be cash for the most part. I just think if we get over this like 80 to 86 area, we can see the continuation. But we need over that. Because I'm watching that and I'm also watching oil, which is quite literally polar opposite directions in the broader market, which isn't always the best. If we do hold below this, I have no interest in longs. Cops and MenQ longs, nice. Appreciate you, Job. Yeah, if you guys do want to support Project 365, hit the like button. Show some love. Like the stream, help us get some reach overall in the market. On the YouTubes. It's how we grow. That's how we're able to give away accounts. So oil's rejecting the open. Seeing a bit of buying there. So what was this low? 37. So 22 ticks below the stop. I'm hoping we don't just face rip. Because I do think there's a lot of opportunity in the YM. So I'm hoping it doesn't just break out. This hourly closes up here. It'll be pretty unfortunate. At 12:20 Eastern time, you took the short? Intraday? Oh, like the highs of that wick? If so, crazy short. Crazy short. Something that's interesting to me, yes, we're getting some decent volatility here. Oil's not moving yet. If oil does break this, get towards the low end of this range, I think we can see easy continuation on the indices. But all we did there was spike basically the highs of the consolidations, and we're sitting right back in the middle of the range. And if we push below this on YM, I'd be ecstatic I didn't get in. What up, doctor? How you doing? Yeah, that was my initial thesis too, is we push higher, but we rejected the trade that I was looking at. And the more we're trading at the moment, I'm leaning towards range unless we can get this break of the early session highs. So we just had NQ, ES, YM, and RTY all spike to prior hourly high and start to reject. So how we trade and close this 5-minute candle in the next 2 minutes is going to be pretty important. Yeah. I'm not trying to give like feedback on your trade. I'm just talking in general. Joe, don't hesitate to do it, brother. If you're on a slight losing streak, don't hesitate to take some time off at all. I don't, Gael. I really don't. I need to cop some Lucid accounts if they're 50% off. Because that's one of my favorite pop firms by far. Yeah, Sage. It has a negative correlation to the indices. Oil does, like a broader negative correlation. So that's why I like trading oil, because you can compare it to the indices, see how it looks. Like right now, that's why I wasn't overly eager for anything on this, because oil didn't move. I would have loved to see oil crack this low if these were going to get buying pressure. And at the moment, doesn't look good. We'll see how this 5-minute closes, but it's in 11 seconds. So it's really going to struggle there overall. The more we consolidate below the open, the more interested I am in oil, though. Problem with oil is just the daily and the 4-hour are just rough. But it does give it room all the way up to like 104.6s if it does break. See, Job, it's people will ask me if they should take a break from trading. It's hard for me to say that because I've personally never taken like a full break from trading. When I was in Jamaica, I traded less, but I still traded like most of the days I was there. I think I traded like 3 out of, I mean, not most, maybe like half. So like 3 out of 7, somewhere around there. Which there's weeks I trade that much or less. I just don't like this because the indices keep rejecting their resistance, and so does oil. I mean, YM's definitely weaker now across the board, so a lot less interested in that. Losing it here with gold. What's gold doing? I haven't looked at that chart in a minute yet. Oh, just a broader pullback. See, this is the volatility I don't like on gold, where you just get these big spikes on most candles. I don't know. Me personally, I just don't love it. I think at the moment, I just want to be patient. I do. Like, I would love to be in a trade and looking for something to trade. Like, I'm interested in oil out of anything, but I'm not like in love with it as much as I was, let's say, yesterday. I like the consolidation. I like that we haven't been able to break the lows. I do. But the indices continue to slightly hold as well, which keeps pushing this off the open, which gets me less interested in oil. Yeah, naturally, I'm just like, I see the potential there. I just don't know if I truly believe it's going to get that break. The one I like gold when it isn't shit bipolar. AXP, you probably long gold on the most bipolar day we've seen in the past few weeks. You might get lucky on an oil spike to 108 plus. I mean, you'd need a hell of a spike. Can oil get there? Yeah. If we get some crazy news, easily can. But that's a pipe dream on oil. If you're looking for a future trade to hold that long, unless you're looking to swing. Appreciate you letting me know, brother, but you don't have to keep telling me the exact trade you're looking at. We already talked about it. One thing I always say is trade your trade plan, no matter what. Please bring the spike. That would be an insane spike. With the indices pushing back higher, I lose interest in oil because it's holding below the open. If it gets above the open and retest, maybe. But for now, no. I'm being more patient on it. Yeah, 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. is a really good time for the overall market. I mean, we're deeply in a range. If we break out of this, I'm cool with it. But for now, we are not. We are stuck. You guys in the damn bot. So we did just get a 15-minute close. I mean, he's not the greatest. It's not the worst, not the greatest. Oil looks weaker in general. Hasn't broke yet. Neither is the indices. This session is just about patience so far. No, dude, if holding futures trades through NVIDIA earnings would be absurd. Like if it breaks, obviously there's a huge chance of continuation because NVIDIA has lagged a little bit compared to the other semis. That's a heavy hitter right there. When you're talking $5 trillion market cap. I mean, AXP is 200 points even going to do it though? Because when you look at just today's price action, this little, 1 minute candle was 240. Ramoy, CPI has not moved. I've seen people doing the broader, was it the prop firm thing where they set the orders for CPI? And like, oh my God, this is the guaranteed passing strategy. CPI hasn't moved the past like 3 times. And everybody's just nuking their accounts. Yeah, XP. I have little hope for like big tech not continuation, but through earnings, just because so many people keep hyping up earnings and we don't move on them. There's been a few, obviously, we have seen really nice trends like MU, but in general, everyone's like, oh my God, this is having earnings and it opens flat or up 3%, which is going to crush it. But I also know you're looking at it on a broader perspective. An NVIDIA chart is overly strong. I haven't looked at it in a few days though. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of potential, especially if that monthly wants to just get a face rip. I actually didn't look at a single option chart all day today. Oil pushing a bit lower is interesting. I still think there's going to be a lot of opportunity during the night session. It's just, is it going to be this session or not? Is my question. In YM, this 4 hour chart, really like the chart. I really do. It's just when and if the break comes. Oil hasn't broken down yet. Gold's trying to figure out what it wants to do. Kind of want to see how this hourly closes, which would be towards the later end of the stream. I mean, it's in 25 minutes, which isn't crazy. So I'm just staring at this chart. Like, I want to see how it closes, but I'm also willing to take an entry beforehand if I do like it. And then oil is right back at the open. Yeah, I lose conviction every time I flip charts. Every time I look between any charts, just conviction immediately gone. Because I want to see one of these reject more aggressively. And if oil keeps sitting up here, the potential of it breaking grows. Sellers are not stepping in on that name. And some GC sells. Okay. What up, Most Fab? How you doing? Wait, it's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to go here. I see what you're looking at for sure. A lot of these charts I just look at, I want a little bit of patience like this. I'd want to see that if this 4 hour closes weaker, it can see a huge continuation. Oil as well. I want to see how this hourly closes. If it closes better, which I'm also willing to take something off like a 15-minute close on oil. But we stuck. You're being so cooked. I'm in GC long. You're in gold longs. Where are you in long at, Ty? You're looking at the next oil, or you're looking at December contracts? What is you looking at December contracts versus looking at this current contract? So right now we're at 102.45. If you look at, you said Z. Oh, yeah. No, that makes sense. If they hit 100, yes, agreed. Because my main thing, if you're looking at this hitting 100, that's 17-ish dollars. If you look at the current oil contract, that puts us up in the 120s. I've said for a while, anything over 120, I think we're in a really bad spot. I think if we get over the recent highs at 110s, this is going to get ugly. But no, I fully agree with that. XP, no, not XP. Kyle, you're in the GC cells. Nice, nice. Yeah, I mean that chart it's moving. Nice entry. RTY is the only 15 minute that spiked higher. What I would want to see for me to be interested would be a close on the hourly down around the open. Yes, I would miss out on points, whatever. I'd like to see this hourly close down here, and then we look to see the next one break. With like maybe a 5-minute consolidation, 15-minute 3-bar play, something along that aspect. That's what I would want to look to trade. Not overly interested in shorting above the open when all 4 indices are above it. Yeah, Ramoy, I'm stalking that. I don't know if it's gonna happen while we're like before 9, essentially. If the YM can hold on the hourly, which it still needs to get a pushback higher now, I would need to see YM close above 814s. Because if not, what does this look like? This looks like range. It's range until we break these lows or these highs. Outside of that, no. I'd rather wait. No point in putting more risk on with that. Tough session? Yeah. It's just Asia. It's probably just a lot of anticipation overall in the market waiting for that NVIDIA, which we could start to see more of. Tomorrow's session could look very similar to this, unfortunately. It's one of the things about Asia. You either get really nice trades, really nice moves, or really nice broader setups that can give you a larger move, or you get this. This one at least is giving a little more of a range. Like we're not in a 4-point range like we have been in the past. We're getting some volatility. We're just not moving a lot. Yesterday was good on Asia. Yeah, Cole, all the blue lines on these charts are opening prints. I even changed my level colors on oil and gold so that way the only blue is the opening print. Because normally I'll use, if I go to like this chart and there's a bunch of blue lines, those are like my broader targets on the indices. But I use the gray on oil and gold so that way the opening is blue. Dude, we are hard stuck. These 15s look horrible. If we close up near the highs, maybe there's potential. 5-minute higher low. Look for that break up. So oil's rejecting. That's important to note. Because now oil's going to close the hourly at failure to go higher. What should happen in that point is we should break that low at least to test it. Could put us back down around like 101.5s. If that happens, the indices should start seeing that potential hold. But the correlation doesn't have to be negative during that time frame because that's on a broader scale. Agreed, BTC. I like the YM a lot. It's just for me is right now the time? Is the question. Is it? If this 4-hour closes strong, which it still has over an hour left, so it has time, then I think this easily goes to like 50,300 easily. Was Santa red or green today? Talking about me? If so, green. Very. Santa, I don't know though. Santa's usually red. I haven't seen a green Santa yet. Also, the daily chart. Us holding the 49,500s. We're holding the mid of the range, the broader daily range, highs, low, mid. We're holding that. We can set this. A break above 850s puts us easily up towards the highs. So I just think there's strong potential, which is why I'm overly interested in it. And it's the only index I'm really stalking. I would like it if the hourly could push up towards like 810s, which it'd be more of an aggressive move. It'd be like 40 points. That's not even crazy. What am I talking about aggressive? So we have oil weaker. Gold's still a little weak in general. These are trying to hold within this overall range. Problem is we're just heavily range bound. Heavily. And the reason I'm okay with not dying to get an entry right here, right now, is if this move happens, there's going to be entries. There's going to be a lot of entries. What up, Mike? Most fab, I'm looking for broader longs on YM. For me, it would be something I'm looking to long and hold for 12 hours. If I'm long YM, MES would likely do something similar, but I'm primarily focused on YM. So MES is up to you if you want to long it or short it. Nice trade, Ka. Is it Kagir? Is that right? What up, Trade Wop? So often the charts look the same till they don't. Yeah, there's a big discrepancy on these time frames overall. I mean, yes and no, but something to note. Why am I interested in the YM? If you look at this 4-hour chart, we tested the lows on ES. We tested new lows on NQ. RTY broke new lows. YM isn't even close. Isn't even remotely close. Like we are hundreds of points away. So the relative strength is there. That is the main reason. If I go long, that is what I'm focused on. Also, the daily closes. No, most fab. I don't scalp. I don't scalp at all. Two trade types I take on this session are going to be something that's like 2R that can trade out within maybe 30 minutes to an hour and a half with a potential broader structure, or something I'm looking to enter and I'm looking to hold until New York Open. So I'm looking to hold for 12 hours overnight. Those are the two broader type of trades I look for. I'm just not a big scalper. I just know I don't do well. It's not even I don't do well scalping. I just don't like scalping. I don't like staring at the 2-minute chart, stalking for the most picture perfect entry. There's times my entries are slightly off and we get a little bit of a pullback and then we hold and it rips and I'm cool with it. I think everything will start trending up around 2 a.m. Gael, are you trying to make me stay till 2 a.m.? Are you trying to make me stare at charts till 2 a.m.? I won't stay on stream till 2 because Alan's on stream. But you trying to make me stare at charts till 2 a.m. today? You know it'll happen. Yeah, probably. Dude, I did so well fixing my sleep schedule last week. And then it just ruined it. I always ruin it. Every time. If gold hourly closes like this, I would love to see the open test. Below the open, honestly. 4-hour looks horrible. So we'll see. We'll see what it gives us. Consolidating around the open. Could easily push back lower. Indices struggling a little bit. Thing is, every time we get the littlest bit of selling, we get bought back up. Every time we get the littlest bit of buying, we sell right back down. We're in a range. We is stuck. Oil is rejecting here, though. If it breaks this range lows, The divergence should start to play out. I'm going to be out here with Alan. No, I have no problem doing longer streams when the charts really give potential for it. Or if we are just diving deep into conversations, no problem with it. But if the charts are like this and we are just not moving, usually the chat gets a little slower. And then it's like, all right, what are we going to do here? And I'm also like, I want to trade. And I know if the charts keep ranging and I sit here, the chance of me not forcing something, but taking something a little bit earlier can grow. Today, I feel fine because I have no interest in diving in immediately. Did anyone trade what today, Mike? Oh, yeah, Mike. The only trade I took was oil yesterday. Good night, Com. I took that and I was like 6,600 at the end of the day close with 1,100 in profit. And then I just lost the trade and now I'm below I'm in the 7,000s, which is dumb. Something it is funny though. Like I just went up 100 places. So that means 100 people just lost money on this market. You're going to see a lot of people just start fluctuating right now while we're sideways because everyone's trying to chase that premium. One thing that can help you easily do something or easily do better in it is just being patient for the setups that you love. No, Mike, they're trading silver. Most people that are in the high echelon right now are trading silver. That's all. I mean, when you think about the highest risk to reward aspect, that's what people are going to be in. That's what my buddy's in, and he's top like 200, I think, somewhere around there. Where's he at? Yeah, right around 200. I was top 1,000 until this morning. What were you up last night that had you up top 1,000? If you don't mind sharing, which I'm sure you don't mind because it's literally a trading competition. Do you prefer time of day for entries? Not really, Hydro. There's time of day that I prefer to not trade. And for me, that is mainly going to be 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern. That first hour of Globex open. And then I don't usually trade like the first 30 minutes to an hour of New York open, depending on price action. If it looks good, I'll trade the late, like after the first 30 minutes with options, depending on what I'm looking at. I'm willing to trade market open, but it's drastically different. Market open with options, your entries do not have to be perfect at all. With futures, they definitely need to be. So we have gold pushing lower, oil sitting at the low of the range. If it's going to hold, now's the time, but it has 8 minutes to recover. Indices all kind of rejecting. These charts look like shit. They do. They really do. You're listening to the stream while studying for parasitology. Did I say that right? Also, why can't words in the medical field, like, why can't they just make them easier? Why can't they just simplify them a little bit? Every medical practice word you read is like 95 syllables for no reason at all. Which that word's obviously not complicated, but there's a lot in there that are crazy. Also, props to you for studying while listening to someone else. I think I would go clinically insane. Wait, what is the actual thing that you're like the degree you're studying for? What do you want to be if you're studying parasitology? Well, making the study guide? Oh, fair. Fair. I thought you were just reading the textbook while listening to me yap in your ear. Yeah, there's a chance that if you're up, let's say 3,500, or even if you get up towards 5,000 in profit, that you can make it in the cup. Yes, a lot of people came out swinging today and they did well. There was a lot of broader trend and continuation. What I can guarantee is there's going to be a lot of people blowing up later on throughout the week. There's gonna be a lot of people that are up decent, like even 5K that got, you could say lucky, but not, I mean, lucky, but not lucky. Because in theory, all you need to do, at least all you would have had to have done today, is catch one big NQ move and you're in the top 1,000. You catch a majority of this short, which is 325 points, you're up over around 6K. So you have a lot, like just that one alone gets you up in the top 1,000. So there's people that got lucky that'd be up there, but there's also people that are doing really well trading up there. So I'm not saying everyone got lucky, but it's trading. You're gonna see a lot of people blow up. You will. I had 3,300 today twice, dude. I know something that I feel like a lot of people are gonna do is they're not gonna. My problem is I'm following a trading plan no matter what trade I take on the account. I am trading plan through and through. I have to do it because I don't want it to bleed into my other trading. But I know people who were up $4,000 on a trade today and didn't close because they just wanted the most out of the trade. So that way they could be up a lot in the account. So that way they could be in the top echelon of the overall Tradeify thing. But a lot of people they're just looking for those big home run trades. And I think it's crazy. I do. I think it's crazy to be up that much on like an ES trade with one con and just let it rip. But to each their own, to be fair. If you're also, there's probably a lot of people trading it as most people should, where it's, I don't care. I'm going to take swings. If the swings miss, I'm out, which is probably what I'm going to start doing. I guarantee you later on. If we get towards like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm going to be ripping trades on it because I'm either not going to make the cut or we're going to hit something dumb and make the cut. At that point, there's no point. Like if you're down 4,000 points going to the end, you might as well take a swing. How do you trade silver unless you're on a 150K account? Cole, you likely go to the lower time frames, hope to hit one trade to build yourself a buffer, and then rip. Spiv, something that happened, and that's why when I'm talking about the cup, it's a lot that happened last year. I don't know if they have hard contracts limits this year. Last year they didn't. Most of the leaders last year failed the account because they were trading over the allowed contract limit. They would make 20, 30 grand and then they would just disappear because they were over leveraging. And this year, there's going to be people that blow up. There is. It's trading. 99% of people don't make it. Probably a little higher, probably a little lower than that, like 95, whatever. But you know what I mean. But if your mind, unless you can put it to the side afterwards. Yeah. Mike, if I start swinging at the Tradeify Cup, I will not be trading my fundeds. I'll tell you that right now. I will not. The fundeds will not be touched if I'm going for absolute home runs. Yeah, even good traders blow up. All it takes is one trade. Because you have to remember, too, a lot of people are going for home run trades because there's $200,000 on the line. What I would do, though, if I was up 15 to 20K right now, is I would not trade. I would roll a micro if you're required to trade each day, and I would leave that account. You are not going to have 1,000 people over $10,000 in profit in this account, most likely. There's a chance there is, but I would say more likely than not, the threshold will be lower than that. What up, Didi? Yeah, WAP, I'm in the cup. Right now, I'm like 7,000. Is finding stop to trim or exit. I find myself holding too long. How do you find areas? Brennan, for me, it depends on my conviction on the chart. Like if YM worked and it didn't hit my stop, I would be likely just setting a stop loss and holding it till the open tomorrow. Just because the higher time frame there. Like yesterday on oil, we can kind of look at that a little bit. I deleted all my trims, but the main target for me is, and when I'm in a trade like this, I want to go break even as soon as possible. I also talked about I want to do that on a lot of trades where I took it at the session highs in case it rejected, which it did. And then I started moving my trim up. At that point, I got a little more overzealous to trim, which I was cool with. And it just depends on, like I said, your expectations. The end goal, if you want to hold longer and work on that, is let one go, see how well you can execute it. Just look for pivots on a certain time frame. It can be 5 minute, 15 minute, hourly, 4 hour, daily, whatever time frame you want to use. Find what works for you and just test it. Test it out, trade with it, and see how it goes. For me, it's like the 4 hour, but on these sessions, I'll use the 15 a lot for conviction. Cole, try to go to Tradeify's website and log in if you have an account and click the Grand Cup. See if it lets you if you're not in it. I would assume you should be able to, so you can at least watch it. Yeah, they're updated every 10 minutes. The leaderboard is fully updated every 10 minutes. Like the leader I watched lost $1,000. Now he's back up to 26K. And when you go to this, let me find someone that's moved. Yeah, so if you look at the leaderboard, that means in the last 10 minutes, someone lost money. So all of these people that were one below them all jumped up. See, this person jumped down 10 spots. So all those people jumped up one in the last 10. Yeah, you can actively see if someone's tilting, which is kind of crazy. And also, if you tilt on a Tradeify Grand Cup, I wouldn't recommend it. But also, it's probably not a bad area to do it. But it's crazy to tilt on something like that. We're getting some 9 p.m. open. Didn't even see it. Wasn't looking at it. See though. Right now, I definitely lean lower on the indices. Potentially more bullish on oil. I would like some type of retest look for an entry. I don't know how much longer I'm going to stay on stream just because I don't love the market. I don't. I don't love the current structure. All indices are below the open. While they're below the open, not interested in longs. I will not be longing the chart at all below the open, even the littlest bit. We have an hour left for the 4 hour close. If we do get back above the open, I could see that hourly fail to go lower. To me, I'm going to wait till the 4 hour close no matter what. Take a trade on the indices. So we can see the structure of it. Yeah, Ramoy, it's very choppy. I'm out. See you, Mike. Trade Rob, what do you mean why I never trade cup? What are you talking about? Oh, new background. Yeah, deity. Appreciate it. That's a neon bar sign. So it's not LED, or not neon. It's the actual like filament with the bar sign. So it's not like the basic like plug-in neon. I forget what's actually in the tube, but you know what I mean. Yeah, trade up. I just said I was in, brother. I said I was in, and I'm ranked around like 7,000. Gold got that spike lower we initially talked about. And with this, like if this hourly is an aggressive reversal, all of the 4 hours change, but for now they don't look the greatest. And it kind of goes off the thesis of I don't think what I said yesterday is I don't think this week's going to be the easiest to trade. If oil rejects back below the open, I'm not longing it either. I just don't think there's a lot to do. I think there's a lot of potential throughout the overnight, but I don't think there's a lot to do right now. Hysteric, that's unfortunate, brother. It is. It sucks. I mean, they do one every year, which obviously you don't want to hear is, oh, wait till next year. Right, at least you can still watch people trade within it, which I guess isn't much, but it's something. Short week, right? Is it a short week? Because we have what is it, Memorial Day? We have Memorial Day Monday, so it would be a regular week. Next week would be a short week, I believe. Should be how it goes. Is anyone short right now? I know I saw someone mentioning NQ longs. But how many people are short? Also, what are the rest of you guys in? I'm long CL. Nice, Brendan. Yeah, I wish I got in. I've just been, after just looking at how the market's been reacting, I've just been overly cautious, just overly hesitant. What up, JH? Short, nice. Just took TP on gold short. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, there's those little extra points gold got. We talked about gold. If this hourly close weaker, we're likely going to test lower. It just made sense. Oil, the unfortunate thing, like if oil gets over 103s, I think it can go to 104.6s. We'll see. I'm short on demo ES. Nice. Short MES, already 450 in profit. Beautiful. Short here from, you're shorting here? Oh, no, you're in from 29, 128. Okay. I was going to say, shorting here is interesting, but good luck. So a lot of people long CL. Well, one person long CL. A lot of people short indices and gold. We have a decent overall thesis on the market down, which I agree with at this point. Like I said, that's why I waited on YM. I really needed to get above there, and I needed the conviction across oil to get in, and it just wasn't there. It wasn't. We do have YM sitting around the open. See how that reacts. See how this kind of like next 15 reacts on oil as well. Just blew a funded and passed one at the next time. There's been a lot of people blowing funded today. Been a lot. What were you in stock market, baby? Because obviously you were in two different trades. Cole, one of these days, I mean it's coming. It's just when, what, and what's it gonna be? I just this whole week I've had the thought process of broader consolidation. If YM ripped, I loved it, but it's now the 4-hour changed. 4-hour failed to go higher. This chart doesn't look as promising. It can set up later on, but I don't think now's the time. But I would love to hold something overnight and just let it rip. Damn, stock market, baby. That's unfortunate. It is. I'm gonna do it with silver tonight. Short. Honestly, if imagine silver just straight down. Gold and silver tried to be back. Everybody longed it throughout the day today. Just printed the entire time. All last night. This is why people did well in the cup. Silver, it was buy and never look back. And then buy and never look back. Now it might start pulling back. Might get some people. Might be a little trickier. We'll see. I think I might wrap up in a few minutes though. I just don't have the conviction I want. Like right now, I could see this pushing back higher, but I'd want to see the hourly close. That gives me at least 52 minutes. Wait for that, then look to trade off of that candle. That's how my entire thought process with this chart right now. Give it the hourly, see how the hourly closes, look for the continuation. If you want to short, look for the break below the prior hourly low, which is going to be right around the open. And then look for the 5-minute lower high and take that down. So it's just patience for me. So I think I might go ahead and wrap it today. I don't have much interest here. I don't. So I'm gonna call it a day before I just sit here and either watch a chart or take something I really don't want to trade. I'll be back tomorrow. Obviously, I'll be back around New York, see if anything sets up. If anything does throughout the overnight, I'll be watching for it. I still like the YM. Primarily going to want it over 49,800s or just waiting for this hourly close. If the YM hourly close gives us the stronger candle with the lower wick up near the highs and fixes the broader 4-hour candle here, I'm open to longing it. Anything other than that, I'm not interested in the YM. So we'll see. But with that, though, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it a night, wrap up stream around the 2-hour mark. And I will see you guys all tomorrow. Y'all have a great rest of your night. I'll talk to y'all later.